Tonight on News 30, a prank call in Shawnee goes horribly wrong.
And start catching some rays because tanning beds could soon be illegal for minors.
Coming up on News 30.
Welcome to this week's edition of News 30. I'm Alyssa Sparazza.
And I'm Emma Patton.
The Democratic presidential candidates are in New York campaigning and speaking before the New York primary on April 19th. While the Republican candidates are not stopping in New York for any major events, Cruz and Trump will be speaking in a town hall hosted by CNN before the primary. Hillary Clinton is projected higher than Senator Sanders by double digits in New York, and the most recent polls show Trump with a steady lead over Ted Cruz and John Kasich.
Burger Kings across the country have been the victims of a prank caller, including one here in Shawnee. The prank caller called the Shawnee Burger King last Friday night, claiming that there was a carbon monoxide leak in the building. The caller told employees to smash all the windows to stop the building from exploding. The employees panicked and smashed the windows with chairs. The Shawnee Fire Department arrived but found no signs of carbon monoxide, and Burger King is facing thousands of dollars in damage. Even more alarmingly, the prank caller claimed to be an employee at Burger King as well. This was not an isolated incident, however. Similar incidents have occurred at a Wendy's and a Jack in the Box in Arizona and at 3 other Burger Kings across the country. There have been reports from Coon Rapids, Minnesota, Tucson, Arizona, and California.
The International Consortium of Investigative Journalism recently released a massive set of documents now known as the Panama Papers. The release included over 11 million documents from 4 decades, all linked to the Panama law firm Mossack Fonseca. This firm helped establish offshore accounts for major global powers. These documents reference 12 current and former world leaders, along with 128 other political and public officials. Russian leader Vladimir Putin, FIFA, and the Prime Minister of Iceland are among the many mentioned in the documents. While some of the accused have offered explanation and even excuses, Britain, France, Australia, and Mexico are some of the countries promising investigations for the potential tax evasions. The documents were given by an anonymous source in the form of emails, passports, financial spreadsheets, and corporate records from the Panama law firm. The documents describe in detail how powerful people used banks, law firms, and offshore accounts to hide assets. The assets add up to billions. People are still trying to determine how to respond to this massive leak. It will take time to analyze the 2 terabytes of information.
And recently, California and New York passed laws to raise minimum wage in their states to $15 an hour. The laws are an effort to bring minimum wage workers above the poverty line. They will be in full effect by 2022, and workers across the country are calling for raises in their own minimum wages. News 30 met with Dr. Craig Walker, professor of economics at Oklahoma Baptist University, to learn more.
Well, the pro of raising the minimum wage is if you're a minimum wage worker, you're going to have more income. And you'll spend some of that, which should help the economy. The con of that is that it's going to slow job growth. And then, like I said before, in my opinion, it's just not a very effective anti-poverty tool. There's better ways. What we need to do is, why is that person in that entry-level, low-skilled job? Try and give them the skills to move out of that position. In other words, instead of making low-skilled jobs pay better, how do we get people out of low-skilled jobs?
And earlier this week, News 30's Jake Nelson got one Shawnee employee's opinion on a new Oklahoma bill.
It'll definitely hurt the tanning industry. There are a lot of underage kids that tan for prom, their snowmans, their dance competitions, anything they want to look good for.
This was the response that Haley Dale gave, an employee at High Noon Tanning in Shawnee, Oklahoma, when asked for her opinion on the new Oklahoma bill that would prohibit the use of tanning beds for children under the age of 18. A bill like this could affect businesses such as High Noon and other tanning salons in Oklahoma.
I would say it would affect us quite a bit. I wouldn't say our majority is under 18. Definitely adults come in to tan for their cruises, weddings, anything they need a tan for.
The bill is now being considered by the full Senate after being voted 8-1 in favor for by the Senate Health and Human Services Committee.
I would say it would affect us quite a bit. A lot of our regulars are younger kids, and we love seeing them.
Reporting for News 30, I'm Jake Nelson.
Joe Dorman, who is now a board member of the group Oklahoma for Health, took part in filing a petition on Monday. The former state representative is now gathering signatures. The petition, a chance for Oklahomans to vote on whether or not to allow the use of medicinal marijuana here in Oklahoma. Dorman said that he was motivated in part by his experience working with cancer patients. These individuals benefited from using marijuana, but were unable to do so legally. I want to encourage people to keep an open mind about this proposal, Dorman said. I certainly trust doctors and healthcare providers to offer the proper medication for treatment over bureaucrats and politicians, end quote. Once the petition is reviewed, the group will have 90 days to gather about 66,000 signatures from registered voters to get the proposal on the ballot. The effort is expected to face resistance from law enforcement agencies who view medicinal marijuana as a way to allow more access to the drug by recreational users. Tomorrow night, Shawnee is hosting a citywide event you may want to attend.
And one millionaire is slowly turning his work into an empire. Stay tuned. Welcome back to News 30. As many of you know, burn bans are an important part of keeping our county safe and healthy. Oftentimes, the community does not know when a burn ban is taking place. There is not currently a burn ban in place in Pottawatomie County. However, 6 other counties in Oklahoma are currently in a burn ban. Hazardous fire conditions are common in Oklahoma. If you see a fire or a situation that could become uncontrollable, make sure you report it. You can do so by contacting your local fire department, or the Oklahoma Forestry Service at 405-522-6158. News 30 will keep you up to date on burn bans taking place in and around Pottawatomie County. And this Saturday, April 16th at Heritage Church in Shawnee, Cargo Ranch is hosting their Cargo Classic Run for Ride.
Yes, Cargo Ranch is a Shawnee ministry for youth. Their purpose is to share hope and build character in children and youth by meeting their emotional and spiritual needs in an outdoor environment. Registration for the Cargo Classic starts at 7 a.m. and the races start at 8. Breakfast will be served by Heritage Church and it will be available afterwards.
And you can sign up for this event by visiting the Cargo Ranch website. Safe Events for Families and Visit Shawnee Inc. are hosting a brand new event tomorrow night here in Shawnee. The first ever Shawnee Redbud Festival will take place in downtown Shawnee starting at 6 p.m. The event is meant to have some historic flair, commemorating Shawnee's designation as the Redbud City of Oklahoma by the state legislature in 1941. Redbud City Night on the Bricks will kick off with the monthly downtown block party, which will host a community connection dinner. 1,000 lucky citizens holding free meal tickets will be served starting at 6:30 p.m. There'll be music, dessert, t-shirt, and movie ticket giveaways. For more information, you can go to visitshawnee.com.
And OBU students came together to spread some love to Shawnee last Saturday. In the second annual One Body United, around 100 students went to various organizations to make Shawnee a better place. Service projects included places like the Salvation Army, the Japanese Peace Garden, Cargo Ranch, and even a haunted house. Jessica Dickinson, who helped plan the event, said that her favorite part of the day was the praise and worship that led up to the event. She's looking forward to seeing what One Body United will become in the future. And for Shawnee organizations that miss this opportunity, it is just one of 2 service project days of the year. You can look forward to another service day this August. And if you enjoy Jane Austen novels, Oklahoma Baptist University's theater department has an event you may want to mark your calendars for.
And one of your childhood favorites is making its way back to the big screen. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to News 30. Next week, the OBU Theater Department's newest play is hitting the stage. News 30's Hannah Lounsbury has more.
If she lives to an old age, must probably sing more.
Next week, the theater department at Oklahoma Baptist University will be presenting Emma, a play adapted from Jane Austen's novel. Set designer Grace Wolschlegel used influences from the novel to help bring this story to life.
So with the design I've come up with, we have a hedge maze on the floor, because Emma likes to go out and she plays games with people's lives. So she goes out and she plays in her maze. And so it's her little kind of fantasy land escape from reality.
This play might be produced by OBU students, but it also includes members from the Shawnee community.
I was able to get involved, and I'm thankful, very honored to be able to do it. My son, actually, my 11-year-old son, has really gotten into theater, loves it. As of last summer, he just said, hey, I'd like to do some things, so we decided to try to give him some opportunities. Dr. Wells asked if I would be interested in maybe being a part of it, and then as things went forward, I felt like that would be a good fit, and so here we are, and my son is actually getting to work on the crew of this one, so he's pulling screens and setting chairs and learning a different side of the theater thing, so that's really cool too.
The show starts this Thursday at 7:30 in Starkey's Black Box Theater and will run until April 23rd. Tickets can be purchased at okbu.edu/theater.
If you saw, if you saw Music Man, if you saw Oedipus, if you've been to see any of the one-act things, you know the quality of production that the students do here and the departments do here, and to have access to that so easily, I don't know why you wouldn't come.
This has been Hannah Lounsbury reporting for News 30.
The Cowboys are back in town this Friday and Saturday for the Original Team Roping Association Spring Event. For those of you who enjoy team roping, the event will take place at the Heart of Oklahoma Expo Center.
And while the Loch Ness Monster has been found, almost, in 1970, a 30-foot long model was created of the fabled creature for the movie The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes. The model sank to the bottom of the lake and was not discovered until recently when an underwater robot found it.
And an old animated Disney classic premiered today as the live-action movie The Jungle Book. Both the live-action and the animated movies are based off of Rudyard Kipling's book, which tells the story of a young boy named Mowgli, who was taken in as a baby by a wolf pack. As Mowgli grows older, however, it becomes clear to him and the wolf pack that the jungle is quickly becoming too dangerous for a human. For those who grew up loving the animated movie, this may be one you want to see.
And after the break, Jason Berger has your weekly sports update.
Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to News 30.
Here's Jason Berger with this week's sports update.
All right, thank you, ladies. Well, earlier this week, the OBU baseball team made an impressive stand against Mid-America Christian after a 6-1 win on Tuesday. All of Mid-America's batters that came to the plate, including the substitutes, struck out at least once, as 3 Oklahoma Baptist pitchers had no mercy on the Evangels lineup. The Bison were able to produce 17 strikeouts in 9 innings, as starting pitcher Mike Gold did the majority of the work with 14 Ks in 6 innings. Trevor Rizell also made an appearance, getting 1 strikeout of his own, and Brad Adams sunk 2 more batters as he closed out the 9th inning. Bison take on the other OBU, Ouachita Baptist, tomorrow night. In the Oklahoma City Dodgers news, after the Dodgers kicked off their 2016 season in Nashville, the Oklahoma City squad will return to Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark tomorrow for their first opener of the season. Through their first 6 games, the Dodgers have put up a 5-1 winning record and scored 19 runs while only allowing 5. Leading the Oklahoma City offense is Corey Brown, who leads the starting lineup with a .286 average. On the mound, all of Oklahoma City's pitching staff is doing well, tying for first in the Pacific Coast League, tying with Round Rock Salt Lake for the best record so far. A notable pitcher to keep an eye on is Julio Arias, who leads the team in strikeouts with 9 after recently being added to the Dodgers roster. If you're in Oklahoma City tomorrow night, the first pitch will be at 7:05 when the Dodgers host the Nashville Sounds. In Oklahoma Baptist track news, the OBU track team competed very well in El Dorado, Kansas last Thursday after several meet records were broken by Bison runners. For the women, Emily Sekris set the meet record in the 3,000 steeplechase with a top NCCAA time of 11:33.15. Miranda Dent was also able to set a new meet record in the 1,500 meter with a time of 4:45.37. As for the men's side of the team, OBU could very possibly have its own preliminary heat in the 100-meter dash with 8 Bison qualifying for nationals. The assault of speed was led by Blake Bartlett, who posted a time of 10.38 seconds, as well as TJ Carmichael, who was able to post a time of 10.58. News 30 reporter Micah Murphy was able to catch up with the record breaker Blake Bartlett earlier this week, whose motivation is much greater than just the need for speed.
This week, I had the opportunity to interview Blake Raphael Bartlett. Blake runs the 100 and 200 meter races. Even though Blake has just started his training this season, he is less than half a second away from qualifying in each of these races for the Olympics. If Blake qualifies, he will be competing for the Bahamas in Rio de Janeiro this summer. I asked Blake where his motivation to compete came from.
Mainly my family. Like my mom, my dad, they're like my two biggest fans. My dad, he would just come to see me anywhere I am. My mom, she's like more the spiritual type of, she watch in the background, she don't like to be in the middle of things, but she always supports me. She texts me every day, asks me how it's track, how am I doing, how am I feeling. You know, it just motivates me every day just to try to get my goals.
Along with his mother and father, he also finds motivation from his idols.
Funny story, my idol is Justin Gatlin. He's my all-time favorite athlete. And last year I went to World Relays and I ran. And I talked to him, I was like, well, growing up, I watched you run, you know? And he's like, well, way to turn your idol into your rival, let's get it. And that was like, kind of like a motivational speech for me because like, it's like, as a child, I watched him, I like studied him, and now I'm running against him. It's like a dream come true.
Blake has many supporters, encouraging him and motivating him at every step. But before a race, he chooses carefully what music he listens to in order to get ready.
Also. So like I just listen to the slow songs when I'm stretching, just to like trying to kind of relax and not be all hype all the time. You can't be hype stretching, you know, that's not a good feel.
Oklahoma Baptist University will have more than 3 sprinters representing the green and gold. Ladies, back to y'all.
Thanks, Jason. Well, one rescue dog in the UK may end up giving some of your favorite sports stars a run for their money. This little pup named Alfie quickly became known as a soccer star after showing off his soccer skills.
Since a nonprofit posted this video, Alfie has soared to fame, earning the nickname Ronaldo. In his short time, this fluffy superstar has already stolen some hearts and maybe some fame, as the video has already started to become an online hit.
Stole my heart, that's for sure.
So cute.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Don't forget you can follow us on social media at Shawnee News 30.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.